one of the things I began to do was I began to recognize that I was this rigid person. So this rigidness, I began to realize once I began to not necessarily compare my life to others, but I just began to reflect on my own life. And I began to look into things that I used to be against with an open mind to see what the deal really is. I was one of those guys that never did shit. Never smoked, never drank. I hardly ever cursed at all. When I began to reflect on my life, and I realized that there was a lot of moments in my life where I wasn't necessarily tempted to do those things. Of course you are to some degree, because you're going to be exposed to shit when you outside. But I began to question why I was so against those things. Like, why do I care about people who cuss all the time? And what is so bad about smoking? Or what is so bad about drinking, or any particular vice that is relatively harmless? I began to question why I looked at things like that. Like, yo, why? You know what I mean? My best friend, I have a best friend, he's 13 years older than me. And one of the reasons why, I met him when I was like 18, 19. And one of the reasons why, and there's many reasons why we tight, but one of the reasons why me and my homeboy is tight is because he was the opposite of me in a lot of ways. There was something in him spiritually that I knew that I could learn, based on his overwhelming freedom of expression. You know, like he cusses waking up in the morning. He's probably cussing right now. You understand what I'm saying? There was a sense of freedom that I looked at once I exposed myself to that on a daily basis. I began to admire the freedom of him expressing himself without giving a fuck about how people thought about it. He really was just really about his own shit in his own way. He does what he want to do. And there was something that was in me that admired that admired an individual who has the gumption to do whatever the fuck they want to do. You know.